Hello there and welcome to the Antlered Crown. I am Elwyn and this is a monthly forecast reading for water signs. Okay, now just like the earth signs, if you may have seen it as well for this month coming, we're doing things differently for all of them. This we will be focusing on each individual zodiac. So for water, Cancer, Scorpio and Pisces. And we will have the general at the beginning. Now, firstly, I need to say that you can find me on Instagram and TikTok, as well as here, obviously, where I go live Wednesdays and Fridays around 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can purchase a private reading from me in the Etsy. The link for that is in the description below. It's all there, to be honest. It's all there. I also schedule virtual consultations via Square for one-on-one consultations in case there is something a little bit more pressing for some people or teaching for some kind. Now, I have a podcast, The Antlered Crown, where me and my good wife, Amanda, both talk about all things spiritual, witchy, funny, paranormal, and we don't take it too seriously because there's a lot of serious stuff behind these things, and sometimes you need a little bit of levity to them as well. It helps when trying to, digest certain things. Now, listed where all podcasts are found, and you can support me also on Patreon. All the links are below in the descriptions. So, let's first pull a general for the month of May for water signs. Okay, so this is a general thing that for some of you, things that may be happening, things that to look out for, things that may be coming your way. Okay, what do you want? What's the matter? Right. More. I want more. Give me more. What, do you want to do it? Yeah. Okay, bye. This is a really weird mood, that one. Right. Okay, so excuse me, I'm getting over the flu, but I'm getting there. Now, go on. Let's have a look. General for water signs, what may be coming in May. So, for some of you water signs, there seems to be something along the lines of, well, the Page of Cups here. Someone's bringing some. Do you mind, dog? Clickety click click click. Water signs. So, in terms of the Page of Cups here, we've got, well, someone offering, in a sense, but what are they offering? Well, they're offering something to pick you up. You may have lately been mourning, grieving over something. You may have been feeling a little bit stuck, or you do not wish to simply just take a leap and take a chance on someone or something. More than likely someone. Well, you may find the strength to take that leap. You may find that that leap is not so much of a leap, more of a step, because there is also someone here, someone who feels exactly the same, but you may not even be aware of it. The Ace of Cups here is everything that you could want, everything that is good, that nourishes, that uplifts. The two fish there is almost the meeting of two, passing. coiling round each other. Now, I usually do for this 4 cards. Each 4 cards represents a different thing, a different phase for someone. So this is not connected. You may have noticed that. That's what I do. It's just what naturally comes for this, because it's a quite 4 cards usually works for a quick general thing when it comes to a month, 4 weeks in a month. You get the idea. Now, the 9 of Wands. The 9 of Wands here, someone is taking something away, but not necessarily in a bad way. This is more about you, water signs. You are taking something away. You are taking what others may have been placing. Everyone's investing. Oh, I'm going to put this here. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to leave all these pains, all these troubles, all my woes. I'm going to stick them there. And that's going to be what I'm remembered for. And you're like, no, you know what? I'm going to take this and I'm going to go and do something constructive with it. I'm not going to declare it to the world. I'm going to turn it into something else. There is balance in this sense. Now, with balance comes boredom. Okay? This is that, it's not boredom as such as this kind of at a loss. Trying to find balance. And when you don't have balance and you're trying to, in life in general, in this case, you don't find that easily. And you're just always kind of trying to correct yourself, try to keep on top of things to give you that balanced life, because you know it's best for you. It gets dull. It can get boring like that. You can be like, oh, what's the point? But there is a point. Okay. The 5 of Cups here. There is loss of something. There is waiting for something. This form of mourning. It does not need to be mourning. This weight, this feeling as though something has to give, something has to come your way. Taking positive action here is what's required. Making those moves, taking those steps, instead of waiting for it to happen. One thing, you won't be bored. All you need is a little bit of courage. Now, let's get on with the actual reads for the individuals at water zodiacs. And just in case you're unsure what that is, that's Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Okay. I always wondered why Scorpio was water. I don't think they like water that much, do they? I mean, they obviously got to drink it. But scorpions, they live in dry places. Never mind. You can think about that forever. It doesn't make sense. Right. Anyways. Let's start with Cancer. Let's look, firstly, at some of the things to do with career for the month of May. By the way, guys, listed below, you will find the timestamps for each individual one, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Okay, so you don't have to sit through the whole thing. If you want to skip straight to you, just look for the timestamp underneath where it's written and then fast forward to that point. Okay? Thought I should let you know that. The Queen of Swords, the Moon, Judgment, 10 of Cups. So Cancer, this is about, this comes in between the modes of present and career. Okay, so it's more like the present challenges in the career right now, and the struggles. Personal things seem to be creeping into the life of work here, or education, or even just social things. The social requirements, perhaps due to work. Well, the Queen of Swords. These here is the armor, in a sense, that we ready. We get up in the morning, we put on that armor. And it gets heavy. It gets heavy. We feel as though it gets heavier the more we wear it. You think you get used to it, but you don't. But it's necessary. Yeah, it's necessary because we put that on, especially if we are working with people, especially if you are an empath. Empaths, they can eventually harden and they can seem rather standoffish over time, especially the older empaths. It's the same in a way with someone who may work in the healthcare profession. Wonderful, caring, beautiful people, sensitive people, but they've seen a lot. They've been covered in almost every single kind of bodily hideous fluid known to man to try and help people and stomached the worst of things and seen them all the time while doing a 48-hour shift, you know. If you do that for your job, you can't take it home with you all the time. They are sensitive people. Remember, they came into this to help care for people. They empathize with people and their pain, but they can't bring it home. So sometimes they may seem almost like just this is a job, but that's because they need to get it done. And this is what this kind of means here for you. Now, the danger of this, though, is when you don't take the armor off. When you keep it on because it just seems more convenient. You can apply those things perhaps in your work into your daily life. This is where this solitude happens, to put walls up around you, to separate you not just from the pain due to work and other people's work, but also the pain of life, the things that you're supposed to feel, the things you're supposed to empathize with for other people who you care and love about. This is where it becomes a problem. But this is the message to nip that in the bud. Okay? Nip it in the bud before that armor gets too tight, too thick. Those walls get too high. Trust me, then it gets a lot more difficult to break those down. Judgment here. A very strange and lovely card when it comes to judgment. This is flourishing in the face of judgment, spreading wings and owning that which others may judge about. However, this is the empowerment. This is what connects you to people, owning that. The Ten of Cups, family. A beautiful card. There is abundance here. There is everything there to be felt. But you want to feel it. You want to feel it. When this happens, if this is happening even now, you don't want those walls up. You don't want that armor up. There's so much that you would miss out. Find that balance. When you put on that armor, metaphorically speaking, for most of you, unless you're a jouster, when you put on that armor, remind yourself, this is just a uniform. It is not who I am. I still feel beneath this armor, and when this armor comes off, I am still me. I pervade, I shine through that armor. We need little reminders sometimes of that before you become that which you don. Now, love. Leave these here. Don't need those. Drink some coffee. Gonna get very dry. Right. In terms of love, what have we got? Sorry. I feel like my nose is dripping. You know that feeling like you feel like your nose is really dripping and it's not dripping. But... Right. Okay. There is this thing here for you Cancerians when it comes to love, relationships. Relationships with others around you, not just romantically also, okay? This is feeling like a criticism. I'm not criticizing you. So if this is for you, I'm not criticizing. This is an observation in a sense, to show you something. It's complicated. To shy away, to hide things. You may be misunderstood for keeping things secret, keeping things separate from some people. Not big things, not horrible things, but just like disattaching and hiding away from things. However, exposing certain things when it comes to wants, exposing certain things, bringing those out when it comes to feelings and communicating feelings with other people who there are emotional attachments to, is something that you kind of have to bite the bullet on here. Why? Because otherwise none of this is achievable. All these things in the clouds, see these cups, the Seven of Cups, all of them in the clouds, all of them there to be taken, abundance, overflowing, wonderful things that can happen, but you first need to convey it. You need to speak it. If you dare not even say it to yourself, how on earth are you hoping for it to ever be achieved? You need to say it first, okay? So, what can happen if you say it first? Well, a lovely card, the Sun. This is progression in a great, great sense. This is like the spring of a situation where things are starting to bloom. You can see the results and you're starting to yield, like get the return from that yield. But first you have to sow those seeds. You can't expect not to sow seeds because you are too timid, you're too worried about what others may think of something. And if you was to sow this, like by sowing those metaphorical seeds, and then the next day I'm like, oh, if only that would grow, I would have some nice sunflowers. And it's like, yeah, but you didn't sow it. So how can you expect, you know what I mean? So sow that. Let that out, whatever that is. Stop hiding from that. Stop worrying about what others may think about something. Okay? This is when it comes to love, remember. So communication in that sense, I feel, is important. Communication with a partner and or even just a friendship or family member in love, in that sense, to communicate things is how you get there, how you make that headway. You're not being secretive, but you have to at least explain something along those lines, because you may be misconstrued as being secretive for other reasons. And it's not that. It's simply that you don't want to change the dynamic of something, yet change has to happen, as we know. The Six of Swords. Distractions. Forms of distraction here. And challenge. Now, not necessarily bad challenge in this. As you can see, this is more of like sparring in that sense here for this card. And sparring is what it is. There needs to be this feedback. If you are timid in the sense that you do not want conflict within a relationship, so you are holding things back, that is actually more damaging than actually just spitting it out, saying it. Okay? They're sparring. They're not killing each other. Okay? It's necessary. It's called practice. And in any relationship, you're still practicing. You never stop practicing in a relationship. So you talk and then you may argue and then you'll try it again. You'll be like, I'm sorry. And then you'll start to talk about it and you'll try to get on a different level. Why? Because you're practicing. You're trying to perfect the art of communication within a relationship. And it's important. If someone as far as in a relationship with, if someone is distracted by something, it may make communication difficult. But by speaking up, that can help. Okay? It's just practice. So what? You may argue, you may not. That's the point. It's practice. You're not a master at it. We all have to just keep going until we find that dynamic, especially when it comes to two people who just make that work, who are willing to keep practicing, keep trying. Okay? Now, the advice was in that one, so let's go on to a cup of coffee. Now, right. So, Scorpio. What is going on for Scorpio in terms of career, job, finance, money, even education? Okay. Not these cards. You know what? Let's use these ones right now. They got good feelings. Okay, Scorpio. So, it's a bit bulky, these ones, so I'm in trouble shuffling. There. What else? Just get it. Right. Put it that way. You know what? It's fine. That's fine. Right. Oh, okay. Suffering in silence. Memories of love. Obstacles and challenges. The waiting game. Now, suffering in silence, Scorpio. Well, this isn't a good trait. However, many people think suffering in silence is this form of pious, almost humble, stoic martyr thing. But it's not, because this isn't Braveheart. To suffer in silence just ends up hurting other people around you that you care about. Especially when you are stuck and you feel like you missed out on something, perhaps, when it comes to work. So, suffering in silence here. You see how this card, how this person, although they've got a really cool staff, that's not the point. How this person, they look at where they want to be, and they've put themselves, they've taken these steps up to this peak and they can't go on any further. That's what it does. That's what not communicating, not telling people, not speaking up about how you feel about something when it comes to work, finance, or even education. Memories of love. Now, in the terms of career, this may be something that from before, something you may be remembering about a passion that you really wanted to do. Beekeeping, perhaps. I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry. But something that you wanted to do. And it's not too late in that sense. Right now, You may be going through the motions. Well, this one kind of comes with it, to be honest. The waiting game. Okay? So there is this whole sort of feeling as though going through the motions, obstacles and challenges. And it's like, when is there ever not going to be obstacles and challenges? And I'll be honest with you, never. There will always be obstacles and challenges. When you look over to the people over there who are smiling and happy and they seem like everything is wonderful, it's not. They have obstacles and challenges too. Some people are just better at hiding it. That doesn't mean they're not feeling it. And you shouldn't be ashamed just because you may not be as good at hiding it. Because you're still feeling it the same as they are. These obstacles and challenges though, everything that comes our way, as human beings in general, you are all so incredibly resilient. You survive the hardest of things. You can have everything in your life completely snatched away and dismantled from you, and still you claw your way back. It's amazing. The tenacity of humans in general is amazing. So when these little things happens, these obstacles, these challenges, not devastations, obstacles and challenges, know that you've got this. Know that it's okay. You've got this. You're going to get through this. Okay? The waiting game. Yeah, they take time. Things take time. Constantly going through the motions, as I said. But it gets better. Now, let's have a look. Love. What do we have here for love? I was going to pull some more for career, but you know what? Right now, I know it's the monthly, but that's all you really need to know. The memories of love, of things that you love to do, perhaps, you can make that necessary change. And yeah, it may not happen overnight, but you can still make those changes. Little steps in the right direction every single day, and eventually you'll find you're halfway there. You just need to be patient. The base chakra, where love is concerned. The base chakra, that is sexual energy, earth rooting energy, passions and base primal feelings and things that stir up come from. Truth. So when it comes to desire, really honestly, desire, look at that, that's desire. That's not just love, okay? It's desire, Scorpios. When it comes to this, truth may be necessary. Accelerated motion. Accelerated motion to, you see this sense of the kind of wishing thing, what's wanted, to get things going, to get the ball rolling in such situations when it comes to love for some of you? Well, truth. Being honest, perhaps with yourself when it comes to your desires, and then with others when it comes to desires and wants. This is how you get the ball rolling. Partnerships and alliances. This is how you get this. And if you already have this, this is how you get it back. Emotional loss. There is emotional loss here. If something in terms of love this may be a time to heat things up in a relationship in that sense. This may be a time to start communicating desires about things in a relationship. Sometimes all that's needed is a flash, a bolt, a spark to reignite something. You don't need to keep doing it, just a flash. You know what I mean? Now, so let's have a look at Pisces for career. What's going to work here for you, Pisces? What am I going to, for what to come in the month of May? What do I need? I think we'll go with the Art Nouveau. It's a very pretty deck. There's something a bit Pisces about it. I don't know what that means. There's fish in it. Sorry. And sometimes that's enough of a sign to tell me that that's what I should be using. Right. So, career. Let's have a look at career for Pisces. For some of you Pisces, what's going on? Ooh. Well, things may be taking off here. If you work for a company particularly, or a group of people, or in that sort of thing, there's a group of you. You are working towards something that perhaps is paying off. Well, something that you hope will pay off. Here is victory. Victory means, yes, it will pay off. There's good things ahead. There is a return, triumphant return to something. What does this mean for you? What does this mean for you, Pisces? It means that there is the world. There is everything here at your disposal. Now is a fantastic time to implement things, to get the ball rolling. Don't overstep the boundaries, however, because of the next card, but simply whatever it is that you need to get things going right now, do them. It's a great time. Now, in this sense here, that was weird. Sorry, there was a wisp. In this sense here, these four heads, to me, they mean different things depending on the individual read. Okay. But right now here, what I feel this to be is the bull here is tenacity. Okay. It is raw strength. The lion is courage. Okay. The eagle is determination and focus to pinpoint exactly what you want and go after it. The human is the emotional aspect to things, that cognitive dissonance that humans have that seems completely different from any other creature. That, you know, I know that I shouldn't do that because this will happen, but at the same point I need to do that. So I'm going to do it anyway and hope for the best. That's a requirement in many things when it comes to getting things done, when it comes to getting things accomplished, taking that risk where many other creatures, they purely have that survival instinct where it goes, no, that looks scary, I'm not going to do that. Human beings, I've got to take that risk because otherwise I understand that I'm not going to get what I want, and what I want far outweighs my fear. This here, to keep balance, things happening so fast, you may all of a sudden think to yourself, oh great, this is fantastic, everything's like working, everything's going better, everything's getting there. Great. Don't stop and think, oh no, everything's working, everything's going great. What am I going to do? No, don't do that. Just ease in. Okay, you've got this. It's okay. You've got this. I believe in you. You've got this. Now, it's maybe a great time when it comes to perhaps work, relationships, not romantically, I mean just relationships socially with people that you may work with teammates, okay? You catch more flies than with honey. If you are in a position, or even if you're not in a position, for instance, like I, long time ago, working, we would have terrible days and I would bake something or I would buy biscuits. It would just lift everyone up, but it would make my day so much better. At what? The price of a packet of biscuits? But it would cheer people up. On those days where it was rough, I'd pull out the biscuits. And, nice biscuits, like biscuits, chocolate, nice ones. But it would make everything better. Just simply, for the price of a packet of biscuits, I've completely sidestepped and changed the course of not just my day, but perhaps other people's. And it can be that simple, just to nip something in the bud, that simple when it comes to work, to just avoid that environment that can spiral and create just a bad day, or even a bad period. Here, there is a form of, this is the King of Swords, but here I feel this is like judgment of something. You are being judged, perhaps by a boss or someone who you work with, someone who perhaps supervises you, or something like that. Perhaps as a teacher in education. Keep focused on one thing. Not only implying this, you catch more flies with honey. If someone is a bit standoffish, buy them some biscuits. No, but sometimes standoffish creates standoffish, and then there's a stalemate. Use this, not this, use this. Think, how do I get around this? How do I get someone to warm to me? Not because I need their recognition or approval, but because it will make my life easier. Okay? It allows me to do what I need to do to get where I ultimately want to be without all the fuss, without all the, I don't want to do this because of this person or because of that situation. Oops. Oh no, I dropped it. Well, anyways, that was the King of Swords, so forget that, don't worry about it. But because that was that person. But this here, eyes on the prize, okay? The journey ahead, the possibilities in hand, eyes on the prize. This in the way of blockages when it comes to other people's opinions and things like that. Don't allow these things in. Don't allow them just to take that time to just sort of step in front of you. Say, nope, I ain't got time for that. I'm too busy. Keep going. Okay. Forget that card there. We don't need it. Right. On a roll. Let's go. Let's have a look. So, love, relationships. Oh no. Love and relationships for Pisces. There. The King of Swords. Page of Wheels. Temperance. Four of Swords. You may be in a position now where there seems to be constant conflict in a relationship. However, you are aware of certain things, holding on to aspects of it's going to get better is a way of disillusioning yourself in some ways. It doesn't mean that it won't get better for some of you, but you really have to kind of read between the lines here and think, is it worth it? Because a choice is made. And many times, let's be honest, how often do we choose something that is actually the best for ourselves? How often? We choose what is best for what people may think of us, what is best for getting rich, what is best for finding love. How often do we actually choose what is best for me, for my happiness, for me to feel free and to be at peace, to know that I am my most genuine self? We don't. Yet, for some reason, we make these other choices that are almost twice as hard as the ones that we think are the worst. The Four of Swords is rest and peace. To lay down these swords. Enough is enough. I do not wish to fight any more. Well, to begin working on the self, working on a relationship, fighting and pushing, preparing for things that you feel right now may be a bit of a dark time in terms of love. The Five of Wheels here. There is a hard time, yes, but they burn the wheels, yet the wheels are needed. It is a matter of simple survival. Two people thrown together to survive this. Why? Because they stand a better chance together than they do alone. Now that seems quite cold and calculative, doesn't it? But it is in times like this, when people are thrown together because they may be worried, they don't want to do something alone, that they often find victory together. They realize that if they can actually get through the worst together, then they can do anything. And this is what you may find at the end of this. A completely different perspective to what was already there before. Defense. What begins in defense, what begins in terms of conflict, may actually grow into something that can last, that is stronger, that can build rather than just destroy every time it gets close. So, remember, guys, all of you, that your sun sign is your zodiac, that you know, your star sign. This is yourself, who you are, who you grow up to be. Okay? Your moon sign is more like the childlike aspect of who you were as a child, almost the spirit, as in its innocence is. Okay? And then your rising sign is how you relate to others, how you are perceived by others and what you project. It is not necessarily your moon or sun sign. It is simply how you project that. Oftentimes that may be because it's what we learn from other signs and what we see in them, perhaps the ones who raise us, the ones that we hang around in school or at work, whatever. So remember that, because by finding those out, you can also look at some of the other things in the sun signs and see how they resonate, and if they contradict, or even if they verify certain things, because that's cool too, that's fun. Anyways, thank you for coming to my channel. Please like, comment, subscribe and share, and I hope you all have a blessed month, and I'll see you in it. Goodbye.